Do you have a message for the Ron Paul movement? Do you have a product for the New Hampshire Liberty community? Then stop keeping it a secret. Head on over to
RidleyReport.com. Email Ridley
and purchase an ad. There is no humiliation nor privation Ridley will not endure to ensure your message gets out.
RidleyReport.com.
Jim and I have had some conversations, Dino and I have had conversations, of course we don't have conversations, but Jim, I do take issue with one word that you used to inflame the situation, hostility. I don't think anybody's been hostile.
I do.
And so, no, nobody up here is being hostile.
Oh, I've
All
seen
being neighborly. Dino, I think we're all trying to be neighborly in this. And so that's one thing I want to reiterate. There's no need for hostility or acrimony, hatred, bitterness, none of that stuff. It's a small community, we're all neighbors, let's determine to be neighborly with one another, believe the best of one another, and we all want what's best for this community, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
At the last meeting, I brought up what I felt about it. The big basis of what I feel is it starts with freedom. I mean, we have a lot of issues about, we want to talk about our gun control and things like this and whatever. And I believe that the United States is based on freedom, and the fact that this was ever made illegal, I feel is a little bit ridiculous, in just my personal opinion. I do feel it's somewhat prohibition-era sort of ideology. But if we don't want it as a community, collectively, I'm fine with that too. It doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal to me. With a negative situation for a long time, we had a little bit of a spur when we started having the growth and we started getting some money from water taps and stuff like that, but it wasn't a sustainable growth. We weren't putting into our system what we needed to make it survive, which means increases in our rates and different things.
Mayor?
Nope.
I've got a question for you.
Funeral. I'm sorry. I'm not lying. I have a funeral I have to be to.
Yeah, you can talk and walk. Have you guys received any inappropriate pressure to vote a particular way on this? Is law enforcement pressuring you to vote?
Nope. Nobody's pressuring any of us. None of us, I don't think, have even made up our minds.
Okay. Did you vote against last time?
No. See, I don't have to vote unless it's a tie.
I see.
I'm a tiebreaker, and there was no tie.
So you haven't decided which way to vote yet?
No.
I mean, what gives the town council the right, ethically, to regulate peaceable activity on someone else's property? You don't own that property that guy in there owns.
What do you, for pot or for?
Yeah, for pot. For instance, that guy in there who was talking about his business. I mean, it's his business. It's his property. You don't own it. How can it be right for you to regulate it?
Well,
or stop it?
That's, that is why we're putting it to a vote. The town, the town's the governing body, just like any other of the towns. And the way our last meeting went, it was already the vote was presented. And we have to vote on whatever's on the table. And the table to deny was the vote, and that's how it went. So there was no counter, there was never any, discussion, and there was nothing, legally you can do. Once the vote, somebody first and seconds, it has to be voted on. Now, if there wouldn't have been a second, then we could have said, okay, is there another vote that we want to take? But that's not how the meeting went, so.
All right, Mayor, okay. I'll let you go. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Something I think's probably worth mentioning here is there was actually no police presence that I noticed at this meeting.
But the citizens, businesses of all orders have come to you and said, you know, we really think this is just a legitimate business. We want to regulate it and tax it. And it's not all about this emotional stuff, even though we appreciate that y'all have these concerns. Right now, as town trustees, it's just about whether or not we tax and regulate.
The counselors I'm probably about to ambush interview have been in there for at least half an hour after the meeting ended, just talking with constituents who disagree with them. That's good.
Get what you came for? It's a lot of fun.
Take care.
Hey, you too. You have a good day.
Thanks. Uh-oh. I ended up guarding 2 exits, but they escaped out the 3rd.
This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by The Ridley Report.